Welcome to our fourth episode of Coffee and Conversation, hosted by Rachel and I. Our guest today is Sonalii Castillo. She is award-winning actress, filmmaker, and director. She is also a model, photographer, and a producer. Sonalii has landed some high-profile roles on a top-rated network television shows, such NCIS LA, one of my favorites, Heroes, Without a Trace, and CSI Miami. She has appeared in several films and independent features in the past few years, including a leading role in a sci-fi film Variant, and recently booked a leading role for a thriller called High Tide. Welcome, Sonalii.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. Well, good morning for me. I know it's afternoon for you.
Good morning for you. Yes, it's evening for us. So we are very glad you are here. Can you tell us some more about your background, where you're from, and how your journey with acting started?
Oh my goodness. Well, I was born in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. That's in the Caribbean. And my mom and stepdad at the time, they wanted, like every parent, they wanted to give us better opportunities. So they moved to France. And then when I was about 6.5, they sent for us. So we lived in France until I was about 12 and a half. And then he had another opportunity to study medicine in America. So he came first and then the family followed. So actually, I should not be an actor, to be really honest with you, because I come from a very old-fashioned family where the value is in academics, education, arts, modeling, acting is not really considered academics or a real career. So it was quite the surprise. Actually, you know what? They shouldn't have been surprised, though. They should not have been surprised because I was always a daydreamer. I always got in trouble in school and they thought that I had some kind of attention deficit. They thought, like maybe I needed extra help. And the joke's on them. It wasn't that I needed extra help. It's just what I strived in at the time. They didn't have all these special programs like the kids have now, right? All I needed was art. I am so right-brained that I was just in my head too much. So the funny thing, if they had this back then, they would have recognized, well, wait a minute, in art, in creative writing, in gymnastics, in theater, in choir, she does really well. Now, math,
Yeah,
math and science. But in science, I was that weird kid that took off her gloves, went to dissect the frogs and the baby piglets. I was that kid because I'm like, oh, I want to feel, I want to see. The gloves are getting in my way. Excuse me, am I gonna get sick if I take my gloves off? No, but I'm like, but I tasted everything though, because everything comes through your fingertips. And I'm like, that's disgusting. Did you know that? Anyway, way off topic. We can discuss that later. So it was, I first started with modeling. I saw models and I wanted to model, and of course I'm short for modeling standards. So I always just always very drawn to anything artistic. And so when I was on my own, I ventured into modeling, but I was in Florida, and unless you're a runway model at the time, because I went from New York, I moved to Florida. There's really no market for smaller models. So I did commercials, and then finally I moved to Los Angeles, and literally 6 months of being here, I get my manager, then he gets me my agents, and then I start working right away. So it's just, you have to go where the market is. Do you know what I mean? I did theater in school, but I have such horrible stage fright. I did it, the few plays that I did them, and I was great in them. But what I realize now is we know now is anxiety. I have really bad social anxiety. But it doesn't happen in front of a camera though. Go figure.
Right. Okay. So you've not managed to overcome the stage fright. You just in front of the camera. You don't have it.
No, because you don't have a live audience. I don't have to hear people. Yeah. Everybody, just tune them out, and I can't. I'm incredibly aware of my surroundings at all times. And people are like, why would you pick acting? I said, because it's the only thing that makes my soul happy. the only time I'm happy, the only time I thrive is when I'm creating. It's why I do so many things.
Yeah.
I realize I'm like, you should focus on one thing. I said, well, technically, taking photos, writing, and all these things, it's part of being artistic.
Yeah.
And where before it was frowned upon, you should just, if you're an actor, be an actor. If you're this. Now it's like, well, if you want to create your own opportunities, you got to do all these things.
Yeah.
Which is fine for me, because I get bored, and maybe I do have ADHD. I don't know, but you know, but I'm at my best when everything in my life is creative. I have a brother who's a surgeon and doctor. I have a brother who's a Marine and police officer. My sister is in a business, and I have a brother who's got 2 masters and he's a high school teacher. I have my first cousin, who I call sister because our mothers are sisters. She's a lawyer. And then my other cousin, sister, she is, works for this, for the government. And then there's me. the only one in the family who's an artist.
Well, that's so cool.
It is cool.
I think so. My nieces and nephew think so. So, but I'm very honest with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would never discourage anyone to pursue their passion, but I'm like, it's hard, but I do have to be honest about the struggles, especially, I'm still a minority, I'm still a person of color, I'm still a woman, and 95% of the time they have no idea where I'm from because of the accent that I do have left over. It's the same across the board. Yeah. So there's not a language that I speak 3 and I have an accent in all 3. They just don't know where it's from. But, but I've been very blessed, and as you guys know, I've worked. But yeah, so it's acting. I think I've been acting since I could talk, to be really honest with you. So it's not when did you get started, it's when did you do it professionally? I started doing it professionally around 19. Yeah. I tried to start when I was like 14 in high school, and that didn't work out. So really when I went on my own is when I started, and really when I moved to Los Angeles is where obviously
when it's
really all. I mean, it's all over the world, but if it's here, this is where I was taken seriously. This is where I was seen and I was given a chance. It's my manager. I talk about him often. He's the one that saw me, and I laugh and I tell his story all the time because I think it's funny. I think it's cute. He doesn't mind. I came into his acting class, and unbeknown to me, a friend that I befriended in an acting class has been talking to him about me. And she talked to me about him, but she did not tell me that she was talking to him about me. That was her manager. So when I met him in the acting class, he didn't know who I was because I was supposed to come to a workshop before I attended his class, because he doesn't teach anymore, but he did that when I first came. And he took one look at me, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I paid, I belong here." And every week he was just riding my butt, man. It's like, "Louder, I don't believe you. Do that again. Speak up." Because I'm very soft-spoken. See, I'm in my home right now, so I'm very comfortable. My dog is on the terrace, people watching. So I'm very comfortable, so I can be outgoing. But when my social anxiety kicks in is, as most people, is when I'm in a place by myself. I am a social butterfly when I'm comfortable. If I have a friend with me, if I have my dog with me, I will talk until the cow comes home. I will be funny. But when I'm by myself, I'm very quiet, and I'm very reserved because I need to make sure that that I'm okay where I am, and I observe people most of the time. So finally, like a month in, almost over, the class was over, he takes me aside. I'm like, "What did I do now?" And I get all defensive, and I'm like, "Oh, what now?" And I come out there and I have this face, and he's looking at me like, "Why do you have that face?" And I'm just waiting for it. What? And he goes like, "So I've been watching you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, you keep on picking at me." He's like, "No, I've been watching you, and I've been watching your progress." And I've been speaking to my partner. They own the business together, their management office. He's like, "We would love to represent you." I'm like, "I'm sorry, English is my 3rd language. Can you repeat that? I just want to make sure I understood properly." And he's like, "No, I think, you're great." And I'm like, "So you don't hate me?" He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, you pick on me all the time." And he goes like, "No, because I want to push and see what's there." And I think And I'm just honestly, I thought you were crazy. So I was watched, so I just watched. I'm like, what do you mean you thought I was crazy? Like, because I don't understand why you're here and you're already not represented, which was to me an amazing compliment.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So I think he was waiting to see if there was something mentally wrong with me, if I'm difficult, because, he's like, I'm looking at your, it's like, you're a beautiful woman. And, and also remember, back then anyway, I don't know, I look a lot younger than I was. So he thought I was a lot younger. But it worked out because I look younger and I'm older. So he's like, okay, great. So you're not going to give me any problems. I'm like, no, I don't do drugs. I'm allergic to everything under the sun. So I'm a very boring, straight and narrow kind of person. And so I just needed that one person to believe in me and to see what nobody else wanted to see. And I tell people that it's not that nobody saw it. No, they didn't want to see. And I'm grateful because what that did was it put me in front of him and his partner who, we've had our ups and downs. We've had our little fisticuffs because, that's just who I am. But, we've gone through it, and I've had a beautiful 17-year relationship with my manager and his partner and his company, which is quite unheard of.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I've changed agents a lot, but my manager and I sat down and we always agreed that, we have a friendship. He's like, him and his family are my family because all my family, they're not in the state. I'm by myself here. And so they became my family, but there's a mutual respect of work is work, friendship is friendship. So there was always that respect and understanding that if it didn't work out for either one of us, we would just go our separate ways, but our friendship would be intact. And it's after 17 years, I think that having both is what has kept us together. And he still believes in me and he still cheers me on and he's still proud of me. So I really believe, and I tell everyone that you really have to find somebody that's going to stick it through all of your ups and all of your downs, which is hard nowadays. And so loyalty is something, especially in this industry, that is very hard to come by. So, I'm learning about the industry, learning who has the power, who doesn't, learning now that it really is who you know in the industry. I like the fact that I have someone in my corner that no matter what, whether they decide or I decide that we're no longer going to be together, represented, which I told them, good luck, unless you get rid of me, I'm not going anywhere, because I understand the value of having someone who does care outside of just making money, who sees your potential and how far you can go and wants to be there and help you get there. So honestly, that is the only way. And how I got started was because that man saw what nobody wanted to see. So I'm thankful for him every time. When I win an award in front of people, it's going to be like, before my brain walks away from me and I forget to thank people that matter. I love you all. You know who you are. So if I forget your name, I'm so sorry. But the name I will not forget is Jeffrey Brooks, because he saw what nobody wanted to see.
That's amazing. And talk about ups and downs. You had some really ups with the Mamba, the short film that you did, which you created, you wrote the screenplay, you produced it, and you are the lead actress. Now, Mamba has won 8 awards for Best Short Film, Best Action Thriller, and you were nominated 3 times for Best Actress and received 2 wins, which is absolutely amazing. So can you share with us, how did the idea of Mamba come about? And how did you feel winning all those awards? And are we going to be able to watch it at some point? I know there's ones that do want to watch it. So
there's a lot of people who wanted to watch it. And what I was thinking of doing is maybe having like a Zoom like this. And playing it for people. And here's why. There's so much that I want to do with Mamba. And there has been a lot of interest with different, people and smaller studios. But because it is my baby, because I wrote it, because it's over 10 years of my life of character development and character building, I'm not willing to hand it off to some studio so that they can change everything I worked so hard for. And unfortunately, when it's something that big and so much money is involved, you're gonna have to give up a lot of control. And I get that. The problem that I have is I don't ever want to look at something that I worked so hard for, that has been proven that people like and want to see more of. And then somebody comes in and doesn't understand what I'm trying to do and they say, well, we should do it more like this. This is what's working right now, which is feedback that I've gotten. Let's do more of this, more of that. I'm like, so you want me to change my story? Well, it's not changing the story. It's just making us like, no. You're saying you want me to do it like this, which, by the way, it failed miserably at the box office. So you want me to do something like this for it to do that? Well, no. Let's be honest. So I've just pulled away from those people.
Yeah.
I said, I need someone with my project, all of them, to be with me like my manager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't ask anybody's permission to write it, to create it, to produce it, to raise the money, to do what I needed to do, to cast the people that I casted, to bring on who I brought on. I didn't need anybody's permission. I just did it. And it ended up being well received.
Yeah.
You know? And so why are you giving me such a hard time? Why aren't you trusting that I can do the same thing on a grander scale, that I'm going to pick the team with your help, by the way, that all I want is my choices in these particular characters, because everybody loved how I casted the short. You know what I mean? It's like, so you love everything I did on a small scale with very tiny budget compared to others. Mm-hmm. But then you want to take all that away from me.
Don't let this happen.
Can give me your money so that I can do it. So because I have a feature film, what is out there is a short film. It's a pre to what the feature film would be.
Yeah.
I also wrote a pilot for a television series of Mamba. So there's a lot of work and heart, like I'm tingling as I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I went into this because I put so much of my own backstory and personal life in her character to bring her to life. And the reason why I haven't put her out there on Amazon or any other places is because I don't want to spoil it. That's not the ending of her. That is just an introduction of her. But because a lot of in the short is going to be in the movies and also in the television series, that is why I haven't released it.
Right.
Right now it is being shopped around. We're trying to find the studio and the investors.
Yeah.
Who will at least give us the money to do the first film. The first film, what my heart wants to do, which I know would make it successful, because all I do is watch television, for Pete's sakes. I'm in the industry. What do you think I do all damn day? You know, and I see what works, I see what doesn't. And the beautiful part of it is I'm a huge tomboy. Now, when I say that I'm a tomboy, let's not get it twisted. It's not that I'm a masculine person. My masculine and my feminine are very well balanced, but I am a tomboy. Most of my friends were men. And for some odd reason, I get along better with men than women. Whatever, what do you want from me? Shoot me.
That's fine.
So I have a very masculine sense of humor, especially when I write. When I wrote and I took it to a production house, they're like, well, who wrote this? I'm like, whose name is on the script? I don't know, but you know, the action and you write, you know, I'm very androgynous. That's what they use. You can't tell if a man or a woman wrote it. I'm like, exactly why it's going to do really well. Because I understand both. I grew up with boys. I was very athletic. Listen, I tell people I'm an angry little monkey, but I'm also very nurturing and very loving, which I think is a perfect balance to do action. Because listen, the action world is still very male driven. There are very, very few female directors. And I'm not talking about military films. I'm talking about action, like action thriller. There's very, very few. Would I love to direct? Absolutely. But I would love to. I was talking to my friend who's helping me shop it around. I said, listen, reason why I want to direct it, the reason why I want to do so much with it is because I want to make sure it's done right and it's done by my vision. But let's not get it twisted. I don't want to direct it. I want to play. I'm the lead in it. Okay. I just want to listen. I'm gonna put my coffee down for a second. I just want to show up on set and go, do we have any questions for the creator before we start? Because once I put my actress hat on, I do not want to be bothered. Director, we discussed everything. Do you need me for anything? No. Producers, line runners, anybody. Can I just, okay. All I want to do is play. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. I already know that, but you know what I mean? It's like, I've already done so much work. All I want to do is play now. All I want to do is play and trust that I have a team around me who are going to help me make it incredibly successful and film it right, edit it right, put on the right music. And of course I want to be involved in all of it because I have, again, a specific idea and vision. Help me make it better. Help me make it amazing. I find a great male director, phenomenal. Let's go. I have a few female directors that I want though. Let's go.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So because there are ones, but I need the money to pay them.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So there's so many things that I want to do with her, ladies. There's so many things that I feel the world would welcome, because it's not just a fantastical story that is just out there. First of all, I'm 5'5", I'm barely $1.25. So the action has to be very tactical and believable, because I'm a tiny person. I am not, listen, it doesn't get, Charlize Theron is like what, 5'10"?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's like
I'm 4'11", so you're big to me. You're tall.
No, but you know, compared to these men, they're, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna fight these men, I have to be better than them and with my small stature. So with Mamba, the beautiful thing about it is that she was raised and trained. My character was trained by her brother, and he taught her everything to use her small stature, to use her speed, to use her brains to get the best of her opponents. And so what I love about what I created, it is believable. When you watch the short, it is believable because I did everything. And because my stunt team made sure that every technique I used, every weapon that I used, it was what somebody my size would do. So again, it comes with a ton of training. So I wrote it where it does have a lot of heart. I had a friend read the pilot, and she was crying, getting angry, and wanting to beat up people at the same time, and then cheered on when the action parts came, because I was able to marry all of it. And that's the same thing that you're going to see in the feature films. So that is why. It's a long way for me to say this is why I haven't put it online anywhere, because
but this is great. This is great that we know now, when we're going to wait in anticipation to see what you've got in store for us. So you basically answered that question already, but can you sort of narrow it down to say what is the best part for you of filmmaking process?
When I'm working on someone else's project, I love that I just get to show up and bring a character to life. So much, what people don't understand is, acting may come very easy for some people. For someone like me, I lived in my head for so long. And when I read a script, I'm not reading lines. I'm not figuring out how I'm going to do it and when I'm going to do it. I literally see it when I read any story, whether it's a book, whether it's a movie. I can see everything like there's a TV screen in front of me. But for me, it's more like IMAX, because I'm in it. I'm literally there. I pick who I want to be, and I live through it. And I'm able to feel what they feel. I'm able to, sometimes I have the kind of memory that if you say apple, I can taste it, I can smell it. You say rose, which kind of rose? Because a red rose smells different from a pink, smells pink from a yellow, smells different from a peach, smells different from a silver. And I've smelled them all, so I can, do you see what I mean? So for me, the reason why I'm able to act in front of a camera is truly because when I'm with the other actor, or in High Tide, there were a lot of times I was on my own, and they were the hair and makeup, some producers, my director, 2 different cameras on me at all times. But the moment that action is called, I know they're there, but they're not, because now I've become that person. And what I love about acting more than anything is bringing that character to life, is doing that character justice because there's a story that needs to be told. That is why for me, I get nervous still when I audition. I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't like it because I'm reading with someone who's not an actor. And if that person is an actor, there's only so much they can do. Until you get so far up where you're doing a test read with someone, where they're really acting with you, I'm literally on my own with a voice because I know at the end, that's not the person I'm going to end up on set with. So audition is hard for me. But obviously I do it. But I enjoy the storytelling. I enjoy being in the emotions. I enjoy, because I have so many. Maybe I do have ADHD, I don't know. But I feel so much. And I think that's why I have such bad social anxieties when I'm in crowds, when I go to stores, when I go places, and I see people, and some are having a bad day, some are having a great day, some are having, and I feel that. So I'm always so overwhelmed with emotions and feelings. Like I see someone cry, and if I'm not careful, I can start crying with them. I'm incredibly empathetic.
Oh, I know the feeling.
So, right? So when I'm acting, because I know that script, it's almost like a victim who has to tell their story, who needs someone to hear them. I need to make sure that they're heard. I want to be a voice. That is the best way I can describe it. So when I'm able to tell this story and speak for them and tell them and show them who they are, whether it's make-believe or whether I'm retelling a true story, I know I've done right when my heart is full, when I have chills, when I myself take myself by surprise, and I start crying, or I start getting angry, or start where I kind of forget when I'm acting and I'm not.
Yeah.
And for me, I can't describe that feeling. It's when you get to give someone a voice and you get to represent them is the most, and you do it right. It's incredibly euphoric. So for me, I would have to say that. And it's why also taking photos is so easy for me, because, so which emotion would you like today? Would you like the happy? Would you like the sad? Would you like, you need real tears? I need a minute. I need something.
Yeah.
So I just have so much. So storytelling is my favorite. And then it's absolutely writing.
Yeah.
Creating a story, photography.
Yeah.
Capturing something that says so much when it's so silent.
Yeah.
And then it's directing, especially when I have a vision, because I know that I can come in and say and talk to the person and go, do you know when you're having this kind of day, or do you know what makes you feel this way? Okay, I need that right here. Or do you ever feel like this? Okay, that's what this person is going through if they can't get there on their own. So I love that I have been in all the shoes. Yeah. Because no matter what I'm doing that day, even when I'm working with friends, when I work on their projects and say, hey, what do you think about this? And how would you do it? Because my friends respect my creativity. Yeah. And with all the respect, I have won awards and everything that I've put out there.
So what advice can you give to maybe aspiring filmmakers, especially maybe those in the indie films?
Put yourself in the actor's shoes. How can you be a director if you don't know how to inspire your actor? Listen, you can know all you want about lights. You can know all you want about camera and lenses and how you're going to edit it. But if you yourself have never tried to act out a scene or taken an acting class or try to feel what the person is feeling, good luck. And don't get me wrong, we're actors. It's our job. We're going to do it. Yeah. But I can't tell you how amazing it is when you have a director and producers who respect what your body and mind goes through. Yeah. And gives you the time to get ready, gives you the break that you need, or asks, if this happened to you, how would you deal with it? How would you feel? Respects you as a human being, not just a puppet. Yeah. So, and I've come across that, and it's my job, so I do what I'm told. So the best advice I can give to filmmaker is put yourself in every shoe. Don't just think because you went to school and you learned how to do this and you lit light, whatever, that you can show up on set and tell people, okay, so you read the script, right? All right, so I'm gonna need you to stand here, stand there, cameras here, cameras there, go! No, no. Don't get me wrong, we do it, but you're gonna get a piss poor performance out of that actor if you don't treat them like a human being, if you don't give them the respect to and the space to create. So I would suggest you put yourself in every person's shoes, in the light, in the grip, in the editor, whatever you're not doing in a project, learn how to do it. Become that. You're shy, you don't want to be around people. Okay, record your lines, give the space that you need, act with yourself. Try to get there with yourself. Let your neighbors think you're crazy, have a yelling match, who cares? You're in Hollywood or wherever you are at the time. Happens all the time. Yell your heart out. But yeah, because here's the thing, I've been in every shoe.
Yeah, you have.
I have been in every shoe.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna ask someone to do something I can't do. And if it's something that I can do, I said, hey, I don't, like for example, I'm not a stunt person. I'm not a stunt coordinator. So I hired an amazing stunt coordinator and I have my friend Sam, I was going to direct Mamba and Sam and I directed it together, made sure that I was happy with everything, made sure that I liked what I saw. And when I didn't, we did it again. I directed him when it was his turn. And when I saw other people's performances, I'm like, hey, I actually need them to do this. Can you have them do this? But I surrounded myself with people that showed me what they do, so I understand what it took to do that, so that I can, when it came time to be on set, I respected their expertise. You see what I mean? So if you don't know how to do something and that's not where you want to go, ask them, how do I do it? How do you do this? What's your process? What do you need? What do you require? Because it's a level of respect. I've met directors who show up on set and they're frigging tyrants, man. The worst. I'll be my trailer. Let me know when you need me. But I've watched directors who respect their crew, who value everyone's opinions, and oh my God, what a happy, beautiful set that is. So if you want to be a filmmaker, if you want to be a good one, put yourself in everybody's shoes. And if you don't want to do that, ask them their process and what it takes, how much time they need, what do they require to make sure that your project is successful with them in it. See, you have arrogance. You have, there's people who think they know everything, but no, you don't. You don't. Doesn't matter how much schooling you have, you're still going to be ignorant in other things. And leave pride out of it. Pride has in anything good and creative, your pride doesn't belong there. I'm not talking about being self-assured or what is that word? I always get messed up with that word. Having confidence.
Yeah.
And pride in what you do, what you know, your expertise, great. That's fantastic. Don't be an arrogant prick though. Respect everybody else's expertise.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's as I can say.
That's very good advice, definitely for aspiring actors out there. So I will embarrass you once again because Mamba was not the only. Because you keep hiding, you keep shy, being shy that you won so many awards. Well, Mamba is not the only film. You recently won several awards for a film Kid, including a Best Director and Short Film, which is fantastic. Well done. So, can you tell us where did the idea for this film came from?
My friend Rob is a musician, and he has this song that is out now. It's called Kid. And when I heard the song, I was like, holy crap, that's me. Because everybody my age is having kids, families, I'm responsible, but what the world deems responsible and, at your age, be blah, 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 blah. And when he wrote that song, I had just begun to be better on my foot because of the accident I had. And I really wanted to do something that not only showcases my acting, also shows what I look like, still look like. But I've always wanted to make a music video or a music film. And so I asked him if I could use the song, but unbeknownst to me, again, the song wasn't going to be released for at least a year. And I'm like, damn it! But that inspired me to write the story for the music video. Mm-hmm. And what ended up happening is, because the song is under 3 minutes, what I wrote, even though it was only 4 pages, to really tell it properly, ended up extending to 15 minutes. And so what my friend helped me film it, what they, you know, she gave me a great idea. She said, you know what, if we do it with the song, we're going to lose so much of the story. And it's, you know, and I was like, yeah, I know. And it's not going to make much sense. And she's like, well, how about we just take a few of his songs? And I was like, oh, like a story. And I said, I actually really like that. So I approached him and I said, hey, can I borrow some of your music, like 5 or 6 songs? So you're pretty much the soundtrack, which we won 2 awards for the best soundtrack. So it was good for him. And we used all of his songs, and she did a beautiful job editing it and pasting it together. And I made a couple of tweaks. I asked for a couple of different things to be done, because I'm involved in it. I directed it. I wanted, you know, I had to approve everything. And it was very different for me, because you guys know I'm an action girl. So this was very different. This was showing my softer side. And of course, everybody loved it. And I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, everybody loved Mamba too, but you know, Mamba won 18 awards or 19, I forgot. And Kid, because people there, I was still being asked to submit it. And I said, I'm at award number 23. I'm good.
Oh my goodness.
I'm okay. I've won in every category I wanted to win. So
yeah,
I'm good.
It's amazing.
And so it kind of, after being gone, after having an accident, having multiple surgeries and having to rehab and going through what I went through, this was the most beautiful way of the universe saying, yeah, you're still here. This is where you belong. And so I needed that. My heart, my soul needed that. It was my comeback. It was showing me, and definitely, and it was my little ode to myself, or ode, O-D-E. I never remember how to say that. It's an ode to myself. It's a wink to the world that it doesn't matter how old I am. This is who I am. I'm an artist. I am eternally youthful. I am just a kid. And I'm always, you know, and don't blame my parents. Look at their other kids. They're the kids that exactly what society expected them to do. It's just not the life I want for me. And so that's what that song meant. And that's what it inspired me to write. And now then the song comes out, but the film has already been out there and 123. And I'm like, I still want to do a music video for it. It was definitely a beautiful way to say I'm back.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm all of my senses are still here. You know, good. So, and it was and my inner child was like it's nice to know that I still, it's not that it never went anywhere. I still got it. It never went anywhere. It was always there. It's just I needed the right inspiration. And
you just you also wanted to prove it to yourself, isn't it? Yeah. That after.
Oh my God. Yeah. To me, more than anything, because it doesn't matter how much somebody believes in me. If I don't believe in me, it's over.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, I had a few things. Oh, you're proving to the world. I said, nah, I don't have to. Like, listen, I can just walk down the street and I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can look back at the work I've done.
Yeah.
I'll be good. But I am here right now. This is where I am in life. This is where I am in my career. And through all of the ups and downs, through all of the changes in agents, through job after job, to rejection after rejection, what has kept me going is my belief in myself and my promise to my inner child that I'm not going to let you down. And so, yeah, the only person I had to prove was to myself, even though I knew. I just had to see, is this where you belong? Should you just throw in the towel and, go, I don't know, you have so many skills, go pick one, make it, be an expert at it. And it was just like, well, I guess this is where I'm gonna stick around for a little bit longer. I hope you don't mind. Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you ever get writer's block then? I guess you don't. Or if you do, how do you cope with it? How do you manage it?
I don't know if it's called writer's block, because for me, when I start typing, I've already seen everything in my head from beginning to end. Now, do things change when I sit down and I start writing? Yeah, sometimes, because what I thought would work here, and now I get to this point and I realize, oh, I want to say this instead, then I have to go back and change what I said all the way. Like I edit as I go. So by the time I'm done writing a project, I've already changed and edited and gone back, because I've already seen everything in my head, and I've already lived that entire story, that by the time I get to the end, I don't need to, how I have 15 rewrites. Yeah, that's not going to happen. There's going to be some editing here and there, but I'm not rewriting nothing, because I've already updated, I've already changed, oh, that doesn't make sense now. I have to go back and make it make sense. Now, the thing for me is that, again, my brain is like 1,000 miles a minute, and I only type 74 words a minute. So there are moments where, wait a minute, I forgot to put that word in. So my brain went ahead and my fingers. Yeah. So I have those moments.
I know.
Everybody has their own writing style. Mm-hmm. And I always get some friends, and they always try to give me advice on how to do things, like have a board and have cards and have things. And I see where it can be helpful, it can be useful for certain things. But for me, it's like almost writing a book. I used to write stories, not scripts. And for me, it was the discovery that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to go into writing a script and they write outlines and all these things, which are necessary, which for me is frustrating as hell. Mm-hmm. But I get it. But for me, I like to sit. It could take me months, by the way. Yeah. Okay, so these are my characters and these are the people, because I literally, remember I told you I see things like panoramic and I live in that world. And that's what I do. I will sit down when I have the time, and that's why I barely sleep, because I'm daydreaming all the time. And I meet new characters, and I meet people, and I have them fall in love sometimes. I have them fight sometimes. I have them, but I watch their story evolve on its own. I let my brain go free. So by the time I do sit down, I know where I'm going. And the only time I ever get stuck is on how to say, because a lot of times when I see their lives, they don't always have words. I just watch them. So it's when I have to sit down and find the right words to say. And then I realize, oh, when I say it out loud or when I see it, it doesn't work as well. So let me find a different way to say it. And of course, it's harder for me because I have to do auditions and I have to do this and I have to do that. So I have to stop. And then I have to, coming back is getting back into the feeling what I was feeling at the moment. And then and that's the thing, that's when I tell people, if I'm gonna write, know that you won't hear from me.
Yeah.
Know that I'm gonna be short. Know that I'm gonna be impatient. I'm probably gonna be really skinny by the time you see me. Because I don't have time to eat, I gotta work. Because for me, it's like, I understand when people say I'm in my groove, because it's that they're living, they're alive. For me anyway, it's like, I'm in the feels. I'm feeling what they're feeling. I want to say what they're, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, leave me alone. It's like, they're telling me what my characters, my people, they tell me what to say.
Yeah.
So I don't have writer's block. If anything, I have too much to write, and it's figuring out what I'm going to put. And sometimes I just write it all. And I'm like, okay, so what's staying, what's going?
Yeah.
I'm never short of writing. I'm never short on ideas. I can sit here and pitch you ideas for days. It's the which one am I in love with right now?
Yeah. So what do you think makes a good story?
Oh my God. When I watch certain movies, some of them go so far out of left field. It's fantastical, great, awesome. But do I relate at all to the character? Could that be me? Could that be somebody I know? Am I gonna find myself in there? Are you gonna help me get lost and forget about my heartache, forget about my sadness? Am I gonna laugh? Am I gonna feel alive? Reading the story, watching this movie, am I gonna get lost for a little bit because the real world, I hate it right now.
Yeah.
If you can't bring somebody on an adventure with you, if that person won't laugh or cry or get angry, or if people do not understand why that character is in pain or happy or sad, if those emotions aren't real, then I'm sorry, your story sucks. If it's not a manual on how to build a table,
No,
I don't need emotion when I want to build a table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But writing a story is not just about visual effects. Like, look at Avatar, right? All visual effects, all special effects. But look at the story.
Yeah.
Look at the heart. You want to know why the movie did well? Because it had heart. For heaven's sake, even Transformers. I cried when Optimus Prime died.
Me too.
I cried when Bumblebee talked.
Yeah.
You need heart. You need anger. You need confusion. You need a purpose. Why are they doing it? Make me feel something. Either I'm feeling too much and I don't want to feel what I feel, so I need you to take me on an adventure that's gonna get me away from all this.
Yeah.
Make me feel something, because right now I feel nothing.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
And that to me is what makes a good story. And you have no idea how many times I've stopped a story midair. Some of the acting was really bad. People should really, really, pick actors that know what they're doing and that know how to emote emotions. Yeah. Because with all due respect, it's very hard for me you can have the best visual effects, you can have the best fight choreography, you can have a few good actors, but if you have a few others or one lead, that sucks. I'm gonna be like, well, first of all, I don't believe you. Second of all, I don't really think you're in love with that guy or that woman. Thirdly, how angry are you really? Because right now your level of anger should be up here or here, and you're somewhere that, I mean, are you even there? Are you even present? Yeah. I've been watching a lot of that lately, and I'm like, just give me that money. Trust me, I can do something with that money. I was bad. And then, so that I don't feel like such a jerk, I go and I look at the ratings and I'm like, okay, it wasn't just me. Because here's the thing, as a creator, I respect anyone who goes on this endeavor. It's not easy. It's not easy writing a story. It's not easy getting the resources and the money. It's not easy putting together a creative team. It's not easy finding the right actors. And then here's the thing, and even when you find that actor, getting them to do the same thing on set or better, and then they show up and they're a dud. It sucks. Yeah. So I respect anyone who has ever gotten something off the ground, gotten something to completion. I respect that. I commend them. But for me, I'm a perfectionist, and if I cannot sit back and enjoy my own work and respect it, even though I'm always going to find something I could have done better, always. I'm always like that. Like I see Kid, I'm like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. Damn it, I wish I could have done this. I could have done, coulda, woulda, woulda. Yeah. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But am I proud? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be.
Thank you. Because, again, I watch a lot of projects on TV and things, and mad respect for everyone who's ever done it. I just think that at a certain point in your life, at a certain stage in your life, you have to demand more from yourself, and you have to demand more from people who work with you, so that when your work is put out there, people can respect you as a creator, not be like, that's very, it could have been done better or whatever. People have to criticize. They're going to criticize a great movie anyway. So for me, it's always don't give people room to criticize.
Yeah.
And the only criticism is just going to show their jealousy and their own character, not because you weren't prepared.
Yeah.
But, it takes learning, a lot of learning. I see everything from Dahlia's, which was my first thing, to Voodoo Vanessa, which was my own little heart thing, to everything else. And I just keep on getting better and better because I surround myself with the people that are going to help me bring my creativity to life at the level that I want.
Yeah.
But I always want better.
Sure.
I always want better. That's the thing. It's like I always want bigger. I always want better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I bring that. I won't ask you, like, if you're going to give me a couple $1 million, you bet your sweet ass I'm going to show up and give you what you paid for. And I'm going to make sure that my reps and my agents help me find the team that I need, because let me tell you something, nobody else is going to work as hard as me.
Yeah.
Nobody. Even on a set that's not mine, I'm the first to show up, I'm the last to leave. Unless I need to leave early or I'm done and I'm like, did you get everything I needed from me? Can I go now? Okay, great. I'm gonna go. No, it's seriously. And every project that I do, I'm like, are you sure you got it? You got it. There are times when it's very hard and the acting can get intense. And I'm honest with them. And I said, listen, I got maybe 1 or 2 of that left in me. So I hope you got enough. But I would never demand anything from anyone.
Yeah.
That I don't.
Definitely. So I just want to touch base because you are very, you're obviously very passionate about filmmaking, but also I would like to know something more about photography. So can you tell us when your journey with photography started? And also, I've noticed myself that you take lots of black and white photos. Which I think, and hearing right now, talking to you, you've got such a colorful personality. How come you chose black and white? They're amazing. Don't take me wrong, they're amazing. I'm just curious how that came about.
Color is very distracting. When you have so much color, everybody's eyes goes everywhere. Taking in everything, all the colors, every shade. And they miss the one thing they're supposed to look at. When you look at a black and white photo, it's timeless. And the only person you look at is the person you're supposed to look at.
Yeah.
Then you look at the environment. Then you look at the background. Then you look at maybe the extra people in the background, maybe the bird flying. But what you're supposed to really be looking at is the person telling the story. And you're not distracted. And that's important to me because at the end of the day, when I capture a person, it's the person I'm capturing, not the background, not the, and I want people to notice them, their eyes, their face, whether they're smiling, they're serious, they're smirk, in the story they're trying to tell you. And I feel that black and white really hones in and zones in, but I always say that I was born in the wrong time, wrong decade, wrong body, skin color. Because I am incredibly old-fashioned and I have this old way of seeing the world when things were so much simpler. When storytelling was simpler.
Yeah.
And photography, you capture a moment in time, and there's something about getting lost in a black and white photograph that is different from getting lost in a color photograph.
That's true.
So it's just the way my brain sees things.
Yeah. And I noticed you use a lot of natural light as well.
Yes, I'm obsessed with natural light. I have strobes and things like that. I never really wanted to learn how to use them.
Mm.
I know how to use them enough, but the shadowing that you get, the life, the way it reflects on objects and things that you get from natural light. I know that a lot of people now can do the same thing with fake light, but with all due respect, after you still have to do so much work to make a strobe and other artificial light look like real light. And then when you get into the editing process, you have to add a little bit more to make that fake light look like real light.
Yeah.
Where when I just take a photo and I just learn how to use the light that was given to me, I don't really have to do much with it.
Yeah.
It just is the way it shines on your skin, the way
Amazing.
it brings out, you know, certain shadows, the way it paints you in certain shadows, the way it hugs everything. I can't fake that with light. A fake light. So I learned how to shoot. I was 14 years old the first time I started using those little disposable cameras. And a friend took me to school with them. They were in college at the time. I was in high school. And they helped me develop the photos I took because I modeled for them. And they were like, "Well, that's not bad." And I'm like, I just capture what I see.
Yeah.
Every photographer is different. Every artist is different. We can be using the same camera, same setting, same lighting. We can even be the same height. But our photos, even shooting the same model, same tree, same object, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because we see the world differently.
Yeah, we do. Every single one of us.
Huh?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. My photography, I never learned, like I have so many friends who do photography for big magazines and, you know, makeup, hair, gowns, all this show, all these lights, all these things. And then you take it and yeah, gorgeous. Oh my God, to die for. But who are you shooting?
No, the simplicity is the best. That's why I love your photos, because they really, of course they very complex the way when you look at the person you shooting, but it is the simplicity where you can concentrate on actual person in front of the camera. So.
And you also use your environment as well, you know.
Yeah.
Like when you do
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, you have to. That's why it's like everyone has a different energy. Everyone has a different, they're just different. That's why when I meet people and I take their photographs, they come to me because I saw a photo that I took and I liked, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not your energy, that's their energy.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take you down. We'll go down. We'll go down there or go by that window, but you're not gonna look like the person. First of all, you don't look like them. Second of all, different energies. So I'm gonna capture what I see. I can't capture what's not there. And that's what people, it doesn't matter how much makeup, what your wardrobe looks like. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna capture what I see, what you give to me, what you show up, how you show up.
Yeah.
I will direct you. I love doing that because at the end of the day, I also see you how I see you. I don't know you. And if I do, you know you've been with you your whole life. I've only known you for how long? So my interpretation of you, I guess, is the best way that I should say that.
Yeah.
That is what I capture. So whether you see your greatness, your lack, it doesn't matter. I see what I see, and I'm going to capture what I see. And a lot of times we're like, that's me. I'm like, who else was there?
Yeah.
I mean, what did you do to me? Did you, here's what I took. That's you. Whoa, what?
Yeah.
All right, you okay? And I love it because a lot of times people are like, I didn't know I could do that. And I'm like, you know, I mean, granted, people tell me that there's a way about me, and I'm like, again, I know what it's like to be in front of the camera. I also have really bad social anxiety, so I know what it's like to be uncomfortable. But most of all, I don't see the glitz and glamour.
Yeah.
I don't see how rich or poor you are. I don't see what car you drive. I don't even see the clothes you're wearing.
Yeah.
I see the person. That's why I go to a big studio and have you hire your own team and let's do fancy lights? I'm like, absolutely. I just did a photo shoot that way for myself, for PR to use for the film that that I'm finishing. Because you need that, right?
Yeah.
But the moment I'm done unpacking all these boxes and stuff, my camera's coming out, my tripod is coming out. I'm gonna do my hair. I'm gonna do my own makeup, which it's literally me, just accentuated. And I'm gonna go pick out a few things, and I'm going to place things, and I'm going to take my own damn portrait of what I want in my own space.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
like, I see me the way others see me. And I think that's why I did photography. That's why I do a lot of the things I do, is because I wish people could do for me what I do for them.
Yeah.
So we know we are running out of time, and I know you've got some plans, so we don't want to hold you for much longer. But for all those women we've got currently in a group, can you just tell us how, in this crazy world right now, you're staying so positive, so smiley and motivated all the time? Because you are on your Instagram, you are just
TikTok.
such a big person. TikTok, you're such a big personality. You make everyone laugh, and yeah, how are you doing that?
Well, that's because I know what I am behind that. And if I am having a bad day, if I've been crying all day because of what's going on in the world, because of what's going on in my life, or what isn't going on in my life because of this pandemic, because of all the craziness, if I'm feeling all these feelings, what is everybody else's feelings? You know what? This made me laugh. This was funny. Let me see if I can make somebody else laugh and make their day. So it's not that I'm just a happy person all the time. I actually, I have really bad anxiety. My dog is the only thing that has been keeping me sane.
Yeah.
I live alone. I've been alone for many years. But I know what it's like to be heartbroken. I know what it's like to be depressed. And I know that for some odd reason, I can make people feel better. I can make them laugh. So if it's just me doing a lip sync to something silly that I know would look like I came out of my mouth because I can act, okay, then I'm gonna do that. If it's me making fun of myself and taking a picture and being silly, I'm gonna do that, because it doesn't cost me anything to make somebody's day.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like to be at home on my own and crying, or feeling like nobody understands or nobody gets it. Understanding how blessed I am and the things I've accomplished to play. I'm looking around, even though I have boxes, because I've been here 2 weeks today.
2 weeks.
Looking at the boxes, not completely moved out, which is driving me crazy. But looking where I live, I have a school across from me, and I listen to these kids play every day. You're always going to find something wrong, but you can always find something that's right.
Yeah, it's very important to find the positivity, isn't it? Yeah,
so I know what I go through on a daily basis. Yeah, so it's just, for some odd reason, people like me.
You're lovely.
Yeah, there is no way, no one can not like you. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness, I beg to differ.
I just love the way you just said that.
I as much as there are people who love and appreciate me and are rooting for me, believe me, there's a lot of people who wish me to fail and to fall flat on my face. And I do get those messages a lot. Don't worry. I've gotten soliloquies written about.
You have been working on a new acting role, haven't you? As Sam in a film called High Tide.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that film and how you got that part, because I know that's probably why you still got boxes around, because you've been busy with that. Have you been?
Well, we're on hiatus until July.
Yeah.
Then we have about 3 days left to film. So the film is pretty much done. It's done. I haven't let go of the character yet because it took me months to get in it. So I haven't let go of her completely until we're completely done filming. But my friend who videoed and edited Kid, she has been wanting to get back into directing again and writing. And so last November, I'm going to switch into my accent now because for some odd reason I just want to, so just bear with me. So last November, she sent me this script. It wasn't quite finished yet, but she sent me this script and she said, hey, I wanted to do something with you, but I wanted to, get back out there and let me know what you think about the script. I was thinking of you for the character Sam. So I read the script and I was like, absolutely, hell yeah. And I'm like, well, is it finished? Because it's only this many pages. And she's like, well, no, we're revising it, but I wanted to know if you would be interested in doing this, because if not, they were going to go with another film, but she wanted to do something else with me. And she felt that I had the range to play Samantha. And, we talked about the script and what I saw, what I felt. And so I gave my feedback and, and they got the fund together, they had brought in investors and they did the whole deal and finished the script. And I met some of the lead actors and we talked on the phone about our characters and our comfortability levels, because it's a hard film. It's a deep film. It's a thriller, but at the end of the day, it's incredibly dramatic as well, because of what's going on in the world right now and what is happening, which is so much more than what it's been like in the past decades. And so it's incredibly heavy, incredibly heartbreaking. And so that's how that came about. And the best compliment that I could have ever gotten was, I've talked to her repeatedly, Natalie Biblay, and I surprised her. She didn't expect that performance. She knew I was good, but she was not expecting me to do with Sam what I did. So it kind of took the story in a bit of a different direction, where it's more dramatic now, because of my performance.
That's brilliant.
And that's the best compliment that you could get. So nobody has ever seen me in a performance like this before. You've seen me fight, you've seen me be cute, you've seen me be sexy, but you've never seen me in a role like this. And it's not because I couldn't do it, it's because nobody had ever given me the opportunity to actually do this role. And so being able to do that not only shows the range that I've always known it's there, but it now shows everyone my range. Because I do have quite a lot of it. But I've never been given the opportunity to showcase it and to show it. So it's gonna be fantastic, and I can't wait for everyone to see it. So the goal right now is to have it premiere at TIFF, if I'm correct. Could be incorrect, but I think that's the goal. To have it premiere. We thought it was going to be December, but now it's going to be a bit earlier. It's probably September at TIFF. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great. But that's how that came about. And again, that's why I said earlier, it really is becoming an industry of who you know. Not really much of your, talent works. Don't get me wrong. You have to be talented. Oh, obviously. Well, no, because now all of a sudden, all of these influencers. Influencers doing. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. And then of course, a lot of them, bless their hearts. Anyways, it is who you know these days, isn't it?
It is definitely.
Yeah. Rachel, would you like to wrap it up? Because we don't want to hold you. I know that you want to head out. Are you heading out with your doggy somewhere?
Well, I've got to take her out, but I actually have another meeting.
Yes.
It's like, heaven forbid I do meetings on a Monday or a Tuesday during the week. No, I'm going to do it on the weekends with everybody.
Oh, bless you.
Why not?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Sonalii, for spending time with us. And thanks to everyone who sent their questions in. We really appreciate it. We've really enjoyed having you here, spending time chatting with us.
No,
It's been
you are
so
positive.
good. I've loved it, really loved it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And please let everyone that's watching know where we can find you on social media.
Well, social media, it's just my name, Sonalii Castillo, or Spicy More, which is how you can find me on Twitter, how you can find me on Facebook, and how you can find me on TikTok, is Spicy More. So TikTok is now learning my name because I went incognito. I was just another person that just started, you know, reacting to other people's videos and laughing.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. Nobody cares if I do normal videos. They just want to see me laugh at other people's videos. So that's what I do. But they didn't learn that I was an actor until when I was a year into it. And I was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? I said, because I wanted to be a normal person and laugh like everybody else and just have fun. It's like, well, what do you mean you're not a normal person? I do. I'm on television. I've been in magazines. I've been in a Nissan commercial you've been seeing a lot lately. I'm in movies. I can't just come out and grab a coffee with you because I don't know if you're a psycho. I give autographs. I take photos. Not quite what a normal person does. So I'm not quite normal. You know, let's be honest, I'm not.
Oh, we love you just the way you are. So.
Thank you. I love you guys. So thank you so much for having me. This was so much
thank
fun.
you so much. It's been so much fun.
Thank you so much, Sonalii.
Yes,
lovely to speak to you. We're gonna let you go now, but of course, you know, we're gonna post that in our group, and I bet that, you know, ladies will love to hear from such a positive, driven, passionate person as you. So
thank you.
I do appreciate that.
And you have a wonderful trip. Rachel, you have a wonderful rest of your evening, both of you. And I will see you guys on the socials.
Yes.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.